Hello, everybody. This is Brian Ankney with Auto Success Magazine. I really appreciate y'all taking some time today to join us. My guest today is Fran Taylor, back by popular demand. Fran, we're happy to have you here today. Before we get started, a couple things I'd like to go over. First of all, this webinar is going to be about 20 to 30 minutes, and we're going to address all the questions at the end of the webinar. So if you're on a computer, look to the right side of your screen. You should have a GoToWebinar panel, and in that panel near the bottom, there's a function for you to ask questions. You click on the plus sign right next to questions and you type in your question. You're welcome. Please type them in as we go. That way we've got some that hit the ground running at the end of the presentation, but we will address them all at the end. Secondly, if you have not already, please go to Auto Success Webinars and join the group on Facebook. You just type in Auto Success Webinars and while you're on Facebook, and you will, and from there you can join the group. Just request to join, and then we will, we'll accept you. And the nice thing about that group is it gives you a platform to communicate with both, the Auto Success staff. You can let us know webinars you'd like to see, topics, guests, things like that. But you can also interact with our speakers. And the most important benefit is you can interact with each other. You're all going to learn some new things today, and you're going to try them out. Some of them are going to be great. Some of them are going to be failures. Please share with each other and learn from each other. With all that being said, I would like to draw everybody's attention to the screen. Right now you can see autosuccessonline.com. This is our website. You can go there to read the magazine. You can read past issues. Each issue goes up on the 15th of the month. So you can read those issues. You can also listen to our podcast. You can read our guest blog. You can go through our company profiles and watch videos on some of our different advertisers. With all that being said, I would like to welcome Fran Taylor to our webinar. How are you today, Fran?
I'm doing fine. How about yourself?
I am doing great. I'm doing great. Well, today's topic, we're going to talk about how Fran delivered 53 cars in the month of January. That number just seems almost impossible. Fran, how did you do it?
Well, it was easy. I set it up ahead of time, and I was excited about doing it because nobody around did it. I made up my mind probably the second day I was in the car sales. I was there to make money, and I decided right off the bat I was willing to do more than the other people. I've watched guys that were there 20 years selling 15, 18, maybe 20 cars a month, but they were all working 55 hours a week, and I made up my mind right there. I said I didn't want to do that. So I walked around, I looked around at our two best salespeople, and they were doing 20 a month, 22 average. And one was doing mailers in the morning and one was doing mailers at night. So I spent a whole week trying to figure out whether it's best to do mailers in the morning or evening, and finally one day I said, it really doesn't matter, just get it done. And that's when it clicked. Hey, look, if they're doing that many cars, selling 20 or mailing 25 letters a day out, what could I do if I did 40? It's the same thing with prospecting tools. The average salesperson only has 3 prospecting tools. They have a business card, they do thank you cards and business cards. But other than that, their guns are empty. So I made up my mind right there to start to do things totally different than everybody else. I think what set me apart from a lot of people is I had a plan and I worked a plan. You see, I realized the more letters I mailed out, the more money I would make. And I loaded them all up with 3 business cards with my referral on the back, my $100 referral, and I always put a magnet or matches or something in there with it. So I had a lot of that stuff going, but the biggest thing in January is I had all my holiday cards ready by December 1st. I think I mailed out 5,000 of them, and I didn't wait till like October or November to do it. Every time I sold a car, I had a little area that I put the holiday cards in for that year. So I only had to go back 2 years, and it doesn't seem like much, but if you do 25, 30 a day and get them ready, man, you're done in no time. But I had all my business cards in the envelopes, and I had my holiday letters ready to go by December 1st. You see, I wanted to be the first one in their household to get a holiday card, and I wanted to be from a car guy. So then in January, when we had a foot of snow on the ground here in Pennsylvania, I just picked up the phone and I started dialing for dollars. I'd call people up and something like this. "Hi, Brian, this is Fran Taylor from ABC Motors. How are you?" And they'd say, "Pretty good." And I'd say, "Did you get my holiday card?" And I would just BS with them for 15, 20 seconds, not a long time. But when I started to do that, my last question was always, "By the way, Brian, who do you know looking to buy a new used car?" Now that's about as easy as you could make it. The difference is I did it all day long. And the only time I took a break was to look at inventory or to sell a car. I mean, you stop and think about it. It's not that monumental of a task to sell 50 cars. What's that, 2 a day? What the heck's that? I mean, if you stop and think about it. The reason why most people don't do it is they don't have anybody to call. So every time I delivered a card, I put the whole family in the birthday system. I think that's on page 72 of my book. It doesn't seem like much, but when you start putting the whole family in there, now I'm contacting the people 3, 4, 5 times a year. You know, if you just put the buyer in, his birthday's in January, you got to wait a whole year to get back to him. So I stayed after him. So I'd be calling somebody, if they have a husband and wife and 3 kids, you know, I'd call somebody in January, somebody in April, May, maybe August, October. You know, I'd be contacting them several times a year. And, man, it doesn't take that much time at all. I mean, if you have 1,000 names in your birthday system, which is nothing, to be honest with you, that's only 3 calls a day. See, I realize the importance of doing the little things that the other people took for granted. Like today, I mean, I see the young kids doing text messages and stuff like that. Well, you're not going to hang a text message up if it's, you know, the Christmas time or holiday season. I've been in people's home where they hang the cards around the fireplace or above a door or someplace like that. You're not going to hang a text message, and you certainly can't give them the business cards with your referral in the back by doing a text. You know, so I still did it the old-fashioned way, and the guys that are in my group and other people I've helped that are, you know, selling 30, 40 cars a month, hey, it only takes 2 minutes to do it the right way and to be nice. You never get hate mail for being nice. We all talk about building value. Well, gee whiz, there's nothing better to me than coming in the morning or during the day and call somebody up wishing them happy birthday. I mean, it don't get any better than that. It sure beats calling orphan owners. Not that that doesn't work, but I'm stacking the deck in my favor because the more the repeats and referrals and friends that I call, my grosses are higher, my close ratio is higher, more fun, less stress, and I get more time off. So, man, you got to get into the cards and call the people. And we have the holiday season coming up now, so even if you're behind, I mean, just started. You got all this month to go, and you don't have to sell somebody a car to send them.
Oh, Fran? We lost you for a second there, buddy. Fran? Oh, you know what? Looks like we're having this is Brian Ankney again. Looks like we're having just a bit of technical difficulty. Hold on just 1 second. I'm going to try to get Fran back with us. All right, Fran's dialing back in. This is Brian with Auto Success. A couple of things I'd like to share with you while we're waiting for Fran to dial back in here.
I'm here.
If you haven't, oh, Fran, you with us?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, we lost you there for a second. Please continue.
I don't know where I left off, or what. I don't know what you didn't hear.
Well, you were talking about stacking the deck in your favor with the birthdays, and we were talking about cards. Why don't you share with us, you know, Fran, how do you find the time to do all those mailers and make those phone calls and sell cars?
Think about it. You know, I'll tell you what made me change right off the bat is the goal setting. I sat around one day looking at the people, and I didn't want to be like them. They were nice people. I had nothing against them, but I made up my mind. Every time we had a morning meeting at the beginning of the month, the manager would say, how many cars are you going to sell us? You know, here's how many phone calls you got to make to sell cars for us. You know, which is cool. You have to have goals, but one day I thought, man, I got to do this for me. I don't want to be here 55, 60 hours a week like some people. Now, don't misunderstand me. I did that when I first started. I mean, I really hustled when I first started. But I also did other stuff. You see, the further ahead you look in life, the better off you are. I mean, it's real simple in life, to be honest with you. If you want to work all your life, don't save. You know, if you want to take fresh ups all your life, don't get into prospecting and follow-up. So I figured it out real quick right off the bat. But the difference is I was willing to pay the price. I stayed the long hours at first, and I realized the more names I get in that birthday system, the better it's going to be. And then I realized the benefits of doing that. Why? Like I said, your grosses are higher, repeats and referrals, your close ratios are higher. You know, the average salesperson has to take six more ups a month out of 10 to sell more cars. Repeats are 60% close ratio. Referrals are 40. You know, if you take 10 ups and only sell 2, think of all the extra work you have to do. And if you don't change that, you might as well plan on working that way the rest of your life. See, I was fortunate. I figured it out real quick, but I also paid the price. I mean, I was standing on the lot on Sunday from 2 to 5 o'clock, especially when I was close to get a bonus. Now, I couldn't sell cars, but I told them the truth. Hey, Mr. Customer, hey, this is Fran Taylor. I'm brand new. If you're looking for a car, I appreciate you giving me a shot at it. I'll be fair as I can. And they liked the hustle. And when I left, I had my cards on the windows Saturday night, and I'd take them off Sunday night or early Monday morning. You know, I had one guy was bitching and complaining about it. I said, okay, you take the other half. And the owner loved it because the older guys do the same as most other dealerships. They do all the complaining rather than doing the hustle. I got more ups on a Saturday and Sunday than most guys would get in 2 weeks. The difference is I was willing to pay that price to stay that extra half hour and come in that extra half hour earlier to get, what, 10, 20 leads? I think the best I ever got in one summer day was 40-some leads. I mean, how easy is it to do that? The difference is most people aren't going to do it because they don't have personal goals. You see, I really wanted those racehorses and fly around the world hunting and fishing. So I made up my mind, okay, what do I want and what am I willing to do to get it? And the next thing you know, man, I had people crawling out of the woodwork. I mean, it was like taking candy a baby if you think about long term and you say, how do you have time to do it? Well, what are we doing all day? If you're not selling cars, what are you doing? Most people sit around. Not me. There again, those personal goals, I think that's on page 7 of my book. You write those things down, what you want out of life, and I'll tell you what, the hustle will come with it when you work. I guarantee that. The money will flow. Just trust me on that part.
You know, Fran, could you share with us a little bit about 30 Sales a Month and what that group is about?
Sure. I did that by luck, to be honest with you. You know, I've been training for 30 years. I have people all over the United States making $250,000, 300,000 or more, you know, and some of them are selling 35, 40 cars or more. And I couldn't, it's not that I don't want to talk to people. It's I just don't have the time to talk to everybody. I mean, my time's important. And I couldn't keep up to talking to everybody I'd like to work with the movers and shakers. So I said, you know, I'm just going to start a group and you guys start communicating. I think that was about 2.5 years ago. We're a little short of 6,000 people. Now, I made up my mind when I started a group, I didn't want to have people putting pictures of their food that you're eating there, some stinky body at a, you know, the weight room lifting. I wanted to keep it all professional. And no swearing allowed. And so the first 20 people I put in there were all movers and shakers. I mean, some of these guys, you know, like Tiffany, you know, she sold 38 cars and had 2 weeks off. Now, she don't come on there every day, but she'll come on once in a while. Or Brian, you talked to Tony Swindell. I mean, here's a guy who was making $200,000 a year and taking 10 days a month off. I mean, I can go on and on and on with these guys. And the next thing you know, they were asking questions and they were helping each other. Now, I'm not like everybody else. I don't go on there 4 or 5 times a day and post stuff. I let the people go. There's a lot of rookies on there, and I'm really grateful about some of the managers jumping in and sharing stuff. I mean, I really appreciate that. So there's different levels of people there selling cars. I mean, if you're a rookie, there's really good information there. And, you know, if you're 20 cars a month, I mean, there's people there selling 30 and 40. I think Dave Kelly's best was 46, and he was in the town of 4,500 people. You know, Doug Hilliard was a rookie. In fact, I wrote an article about those guys in Auto Success magazine. Doug sold 200 cars his first year in a town of 15,000 people. I'll try and go in if somebody makes a comment, or Joey Book. I mean, I just met him in January in Fayetteville, Arkansas. I mean, what a great guy. I mean, he was in the business 6 years, and, you know, he was selling 17 cars a month, and holy mackerel, I think his best so far is like 39 and a half. The cool thing about that is he takes more time off, and he'll go on there once in a while. Like he put a picture of, he had a banner put up in the Little League Baseball field, said, need a new used car, see Joey Book, something like that. So I'll go underneath and say, hey, there's a guy you want to pay attention to. You know, he sold 39 and a half cars. So I'll go in every now and then, and, you know, if somebody's really killing out there, I try and make it a point, hey, pay attention to what they're saying. And it's just awesome. That group has just been so outstanding, and I've been so blessed by having it. And like I said, it's a heck of a group. There's not a lot of BS on there. It's pretty much all card talk. And if you want to learn, that's where you get on that. It's on Facebook. You have to be my friend, or have to have somebody that's in the group to invite you. I mean, it's a special group. It's a secret group. And I mean, that's where you share a lot of knowledge. And people think advice doesn't cost you anything. It does if you get bad advice. So if somebody makes a real nice comment, usually in the morning or night or something, if I go in there, if I see somebody saying something that's really powerful, I'll usually make a little comment underneath, so you know that whoever made the comment's a real player, and that's free. I mean, that's awesome stuff to me.
Hey, Fran, what I would like for you to share with our audience today what you did for lunch every day when you were selling cars, and then also what you made your people do when you were a general manager for lunch every day.
Well, that was easy. There again, you just have to pay attention to detail. I watched the guys buy lunch, and the reason they were buying hamburgers and pieces of pizza, because they didn't make any money. And I thought, wait a minute. The first day on the job, my general manager told me something that everybody should understand, and here's what he said. He said, Fran, there's more customers outside the dealership ready to buy than'll ever be here during our biggest sale. You just have to go get them. You see, to me, that made sense. I didn't want to fight with 25 guys. I mean, gee whiz, I actually saw fist fights of salespeople because they said it was their turn to take it up. You can have that malarkey. I did the math one day. If I went outside and I talked to 15 people a day, now that's nothing. I mean, you can do that anywhere you go. I'm a big fan of going to buffets and stuff like that. But anyway, restaurants, you go to the mall. Anyway, if you talk to 15 people a day, which anybody can do, okay, now I did more than that, but I started out at 15. I didn't know any better. But anyway, 15 a day times 30 days, that's 450 a month. Okay, at a 3% close ratio, that puts you at 13 cars. Think about what I just said. Go talk to 15 people a day. That's 450 a month at a measly 3% close ratio. That puts you at 13 cars for the month. I mean, how hard is it to sell 20 cars? I mean, that's high school stuff. And here's the difference. When I went out, I really accelerated the pace, because if I find somebody that's really nice and just say we get along. Now, you got to understand, some people are going to talk to you. Some are going to say, nah, I'm not interested, and walk away. Look, don't ever let anybody make a minimum wage ruin your day because they're not a happy camper. So you move on. You'll find somebody that's a nice person, even if they're not interested in the car, and even if they don't know anybody interested in the car. Here's what I would do. I would say, hey, Brian, you seem like a nice guy. Can I have your birth date and address? Because if you're in the market then, I'll mail you a birthday card. And if you come see me, I'll be just as nice to you then as I am now. Is that okay? Stop and think about it. If you do 2 a day, that's close to 750 a month. You see, I don't have to know anybody personally, or they never have to come to the lot for me to mail them a birthday card. So when I do call them up and I say, hi, this is Fran. You know, do you remember chatting with me? Yeah. Excuse me. So that'd give me another 750 people a year to mail my birthday cards out to put my business cards in, and then I would call them up. Hi, Brian, this is Fran. Did you get my birthday card? Yeah, so I went out at lunchtime with three, or after lunch. Sometimes I had customers at lunch. It didn't matter. You just got to do it every day. I think that's on page 42 of my book, A Daily Routine. You see, once you get that and you realize how easy that is, somebody's going to pay for your lunch every day the rest of your life, and I promise it's not a slice of pizza. So when I was general manager in Texas, you weren't allowed to eat lunch there. And we had 60-some people. I basically told everybody and the managers, look, let them go. Now, if the salesmen come back with donuts on their face and they're well rested and never get a lead, guess what? That guy's going to, or gal is going to stay there and, watch the lot where everybody goes make money. But I didn't have that problem. You see, the difference is I took them out. So did my managers. We took them out. We showed them how to prospect. I think that's what's missing in the car business. That's what we do, training too. Point somebody out that I'm afraid to say hello to. There's nobody walking the face of the earth that I'm afraid to go up and say hi to about selling cars. I already know the statistics. Not everybody's going to say yes. Not everybody's going to say no. And every time you get paid, think about it. What's that? If you can buy a buffet for 10, 12 bucks, you make one sale a month, so somebody pays for your lunch every day. The difference is we taught the salespeople, hey, follow me. Come on out here. My guys were everywhere. They were in, I didn't want everybody in the same restaurant or the same buffet or the same place like that. So we just had everybody scattered out. And I also knew that not everybody was going to buy into it because that's not everybody's cup of tea. However, that's where you show them other prospecting tools that'll make just as much money. The key is once you learn it all in that daily routine, man, there's no limit what you can do or how much you can make. You just got to realize, why am I going to do this and what am I to get back for doing it? I tell salespeople all the time, don't do anything if you don't see a benefit. And they say, yeah, that's right. Well, that's cool. Well, that means you shouldn't have to be told how many phone calls you make. Did you do the steps of the sales? Did you do your mailers? I mean, because that's all benefit and meat. But there again, you have to do it in abundance. You can't just do it, talk to 4 or 5 people, and compared to somebody doing 15. I mean, you got to get out there and get after it. And your first weeks are roughest. Once you get over that, you'll realize nobody's going to kill you, and you have a lot of fun with it down the road. Wear your name tag when you go out, and don't say just Fran Taylor. I mean, you see a sign or a name tag with Fran Taylor on there. What does that mean? I mean, are you in service, parts, body shop, or do you even sell cars? So Fran Taylor sales rep. I got a lot of calls or sold a lot of sales from just having those name tags. So get out every day, whether it's in my book, that daily routine, whether it's, 12 o'clock, whatever, and quit eating pizzas. Go have a steak on somebody else.
Fran, let's talk through some of the different prospecting tools, both that you have used, and then I every day in 30 sales a month it seems like somebody has some new awesome idea. But let's share with our listeners some of the ones that work best, that are easiest to do.
Well, they're all easy to me. I think that's the secret. When you stop and think about it, to me it was all easy. The more you have, the better you are. I mean, spend a little, make a lot. Spend nothing, make nothing. It's real simple. One prospecting tool won't make you rich, but a bunch of them will make you pretty darn wealthy. I mean, I have my name on pizza boxes. I mean, I go over those in my videos. I mean, I just went crazy. Once I made a commitment, look, if I had 10, 15 prospecting tools, how many more cars could I sell? You see, I didn't mind spending a little to make a lot. Is it guaranteed? Yeah. How much? People say, which one's the best? Hell if I know. I know one thing. Just like matches with my pictures on. I had those in every gas station and every tobacco shop around. I mean, when people quit talking about you, you're going to quit making money. It's not who you know, it's who knows you. So I had little mirrors that I gave to the women that say, you look beautiful today. I mean, I had my, in every restaurant, I had little, not every restaurant, but every one I could. I bought their placemats on the very left side, said, need a new used car. See me, Fran Taylor, ABC Motors, and the phone number. I saw something the other day. I was working in North Carolina doing some training for with Chris Fuckel's group. Great guy. There's another guy that's awesome. Anyway, one of the salesmen said, we were having a buffet at a Chinese place, and he goes, hey, what do you think of this idea? He was going to get fortune cookies made, and inside, save a fortune, see me, Jim at ABC Motors. You know what? It's a great idea, but it's worthless if you don't put it into effect. I mean, there's a million ideas, but guys and gals, you got to follow through with it. You know, I had another guy in Maryland I met one time and had a wild idea. He had straws made. On the outside of the straw he had printed. This is a little wild, but he did it. He said, did your last car deal suck? Call me, Jim, at such and such a phone number. I mean, there is no limit what you can do. Which the best? I mean, I had sweatshirts made that said, need a new or used car? See me, Fran Taylor, ABC Motors, and a phone number, front and back. Did I make a killing with it? No, but stop and think about it. It cost me $30. You know, you sell a couple of cars, you turn $30 into a couple thousand. And that's how the prospecting works. You know, so you get a bunch of prospecting tools. It doesn't matter. I had beer coasters made. I had them in every bar. Do you have any idea how hard it is to give out 5,000 beer coasters, the thick ones that they don't throw away? And if you get any prospecting tools, put as much on it as you can. Put your picture on, put your cell phone on, your business number, and email address on every prospecting tool you can. I see guys buy pens all the time. I never had a lot of luck with them, but it helped me close deals, because when a customer sat down, I'd say, hey, Brian, you like pizzas and subs? Yeah. Okay, here. I'd write their name down, and I'd give them a menu of the JoJo's Pizza, which I had my pictures on the pizza boxes. I say, here, you get a 10% discount here. Oh, by the way, here's a pen. I appreciate the opportunity to work with you. Excuse me. And I'd get up and walk away just for like 10, 15 seconds. Just let them to think about, hey, I gave them something that nobody else did, and I don't even know them yet. So I really got into the prospecting. It's like the mirrors. I didn't make a lot of money with mirrors when I first gave them out, but I'll tell you where I made my money. When they'd come in from service, people would walk back and say, hi, Fran, how are you? Pretty good. Hey, you got any more of those mirrors? Oh, absolutely. How many do you want? And my last question would always be, hey, by the way, who do you know looking to buy a new or used car? There's where you make your money, when you get people coming in and talking to you. Which prospecting tool works best? If I'm just starting out, I would get magnets that you put in everybody's refrigerator that you sold a car to. I would have the sold by stickers that you put on both door jambs and the gas tank lid. You know, that's pretty popular. Well, guess who started that? That was me. And I was pretty lucky with it. And then I had key rings with my name on. A lot of dealerships will give you a key ring, but I wanted to promote me. I didn't want them to come to ABC Motors. I wanted to come to see Fran Taylor at ABC Motors. So there's really no limit what you can do. I mean, I know guys have got hats, T-shirts, you know, mugs. I mean, there's no limit. But get the cheaper things to start out. The magnets, the key rings, and the stickers. You can buy all those for a couple $100. But it costs you about $1 per customer. So start off with that, and you know, go to billboards if you want down the road. I would like Chris Fuchs. We just put billboards up. That's a guy that, you know, it took him 2 months to get to 30 in a strange town. I mean, some of these guys really go after it. So just make up your mind what you want to do and what are you willing to pay for. But, you know, those some of the prospecting tools idea there. I have a lot more than those, but, you know, just do something that you feel comfortable with. But once you pick an idea, make sure you follow through with it, because I promise you, not only money will come, but you'll have a whole lot more fun when you get people coming in and asking for you.
Well, you know, Chris Fuchs, I'm going to elaborate on that story just a little bit. Chris Fuchs actually moved across the country to a town where he didn't know anybody, and within 2 months, just by you know, doing everything the right way and using prospecting tools and putting up billboards with his picture on them, it took him 2 months, and he hit 30 cars. And he's just off to the races from there. It's something, you know, it doesn't matter what size town you're in. It doesn't matter, you know, how many salespeople that there are at the dealership. It doesn't matter if the floor is, you know, totally clogged with too many people, because you're not fishing on the floor. You're fishing outside of the dealership. Fran, is there anything else that you'd like to leave our audience with today?
Well, look, I get this asked all the time, and it all starts with personal goals. You see, that's what's going to help you guys and gals out. And it's not the goals, how many cars you're going to sell this month. It's what you do with your money. And there again, I say this all the time. You know, that's in I think it's page 7 of my book. Write down 11 things what money can buy. Don't write pay bills. Don't write any of that stuff. Write down the things that money can buy, because that'll set the stage for you. That you get away from that stinking thinking. You know, don't believe that you can't do something. You say, hey, I might be able to do this, because you always have that doubt. I mean, I'm living proof. You know, when you start out, you know, and selling cars, you know, you want to try and make 300, 400, 500 a day. You know, then you want to try and make 10, 20,000 a month. You know, I was telling a friend the other day, it's nice that you want to try and make $100,000 in a month. And if you stick with that goal setting, what I'm talking about, it's like Steve Garner in Texas. Man, that guy's a multimillionaire, and he started just like myself and a lot of you guys. So start with 11 goals. If you're going to get into the prospecting and you don't have any money, get off your butt like I did. Stand on the lotto on Sundays. That costs you nothing. Put the cards on the windows when you leave if you're allowed to. If that doesn't work, go talk to 15 people a day. You see, all that stuff's guaranteed. It just takes a little bit of sweat. And when every time you get paid, you put a little bit of money in each of those accounts I'm talking about, there'll come a time that you actually look forward to go to work. I remember coming in on a Saturday one time. I didn't have one appointment. I sold 7 cars and spotted 6, and I was gone by 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I mean, what a great day. I remember saying, hey, God, if anything's less than a great day, I'm going to be disappointed. You'll get to that attitude. How can you have it? How can you feel bad when you have a bunch of money in 11 different accounts? How can you feel bad or not have a great attitude when you got 10, 15 things working for you? You might not be able to pick which one works as far as prospecting tools, but you know somebody's going to come in and ask for you. That's when you're rocking and rolling. And the more you do it, the better you get. So start with those goals. Invest in yourself, because nobody else is going to do it for you. And by all means, when you make a decision, you follow through with it. I promise you, that's the kind of stuff that will change your life, because it did mine.
Thank you, Fran. I appreciate everybody taking the time out of their day to join us today. And Fran, thank you for coming on and sharing with us, you know, some of the King of Prospecting secrets. Again, if you guys haven't joined Auto Success webinars yet on Facebook, please join. And if you haven't joined 30 Sales a Month yet and you don't know anybody in the group, please, you know, send me an email. You're all going to get an email after, you know, thanking you for coming to this webinar. That's my real email address. You know, just shoot me an email, brian@autosuccessonline.com, and I will get you into the group. Fran, thank you for coming. I mean, is there any last things you'd like to share?
Yeah, if any of you guys like, I mentioned a bunch of stuff in my book, like the goal setting at page 7, the daily routine, I think it's page 42, that delivery checklist. And if you guys want to look at that, it's under frantaylor.net. And if anybody gets that, and I have other training stuff there too, but read it, make yourself notes, and if you have any questions, you call me back or, you know, send me a message on Facebook, and I'll do my best to get back to you, because to get to 30 cars a month isn't that hard. If you say it's not that hard, it's not. Then you just got to do the work. But, you know, I needed help when I started. My manager was my biggest fan, that and my grandmother. And he was behind me all the time. It's unfortunate in the car business, you don't get any pats on the back on the way up too often. So I'm your biggest fan. You need any help, you get that information, and you call me back. So check out frantaylor.net, and thanks everybody for listening. You have a great day.
All right, everybody. Goodbye. Have a great day.